Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you guys 12 tools that I believe should be in your toolbox if you try to do any of your own maintenance or repair work on your motorcycle. So if that interests you guys, stick around. Alright guys, so we all know how this works out. We get ourselves a bike, we ride it, we enjoy it, we're having a blast, and at one point the time is going to come where the bike is going to need repair, maintenance, or maybe you want to put some modifications to it, some aftermarket parts or whatever. And you might want to do these things yourself so you don't have to pay another shop or somebody else all the time to do it. I'm going to show you guys 12 tools that I believe you should have in your toolbox that's going to make your life so much easier. And I'm going to walk you step by step through all these tools. Honestly, there's more than 12 tools here. Some are pairs, so we're going to go by section, and even if it's a pair, I'm still going to consider as one tool. So number one accessory or tool that I think you should own if you own a motorcycle is cable loop and the tool for it. This is the number one, in my opinion, number one maintenance thing that always gets overlooked by motorcycle owners, even by shops. I get so many bikes in where the cables are so stiff they never get looped. This is a very handy little tool that helps you guys keep your throttle or clutch cables nicely looped so you have a nice actuation, your clutch lever doesn't feel too hard, and it prolongs the life of the clutch cable for so much. This is a $10–15 tool, you maybe $30 with the can, and it is so important to do that. This and side stand, kickstands, I see that all the time. Bikes come in and you can barely move the kickstand out with your foot or even by hand, and I just go and take a dab of WD-40 and boom, it goes super smooth. These are things that get overlooked so often, and it doesn't take much money, it doesn't take much time. So yeah, get yourself one of these guys. Number two on my list is what we call a dead blow or a rubber mallet. So this is like a rubber plastic coated kind of hammer, but it has some type of, I'm going to say sand, it's not sand, but something like it inside, and this is so much better than a regular hammer for things like axles, or sometimes you just have a piece where you need to dab it into place to get it fit correctly, but you don't want to scratch it, the chrome or the paint. This is so much better than using a regular hammer. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's something in it that reduces the impact of it, so that's why they call it dead blow. Harbor Freight, super cheap, you can see it, I use it a lot. I got, I think, 2 of them different sizes in my shop. I use these all the time. I rarely use a regular hammer unless I really need to beat something up. So dead blow hammer is my number 2. It's really good, really important to have. Number 3 on my list is what we call a flush cutter. So this little thing here cuts flush like the name says, and this is great for zip ties. I'm going to demonstrate you guys exactly what I mean. So we got zip ties all over the place on your motorcycles. So it looks like this, and now you're going to cut it with your regular dikes or side cutters. When you do this, hopefully you can see it on the video, there is that little piece still sticking over here. I'm going to try to see, hopefully you guys can see it. And this, one, it looks ugly, and 2, if you work on your motorcycles, these things are super sharp. You reach in your hand or something on your arm, you cut yourself. These are quite a pain when they're in your way when you're working with it. But if you use the flush cutter, now it's flush. See, I can do all this and nothing happens. And the job looks way nicer too. So if you have to use a zip tie in any location where it's going to be visible, with these, it just makes it look easier. It just makes it look better and cleaner, and you don't cut yourself. So I think these are like $7 or $8. Really good to have. So these 2 guys is what we call precision picks. It's basically the same tool like your dentist uses. You know, you go for cleaning and he starts torturing you and scraping stuff out between your teeth. Basically same thing. These are so handy. I use them almost every day when I work on motorcycles. They have endless applications really. You got an electrical connector that you try to take apart and you can get the clip to open. You can use that. You can peel off O-rings or seal rings, or you have a little gap that you just need to scratch clean, or oh my god, as I said, the applications for these are endless. The ones with the hook is pretty useful. If you have a wire that you can't reach, you just go in there and fish it out. So yeah, these are very cheap. They're super handy. I use them almost on the daily, so these are good to have, and I think you should have them. So next on my list are these two guys. One is a mirror extended. So sometimes you just have, I don't know, an oil leak, a gas leak, something. You want to see something and you just can't get your eye on. You can just go in there and move it around. This is very handy. They come in different sizes and some come with lights and stuff. I like the small one because it just reaches into smaller spaces. Some are very big and bulky and sometimes it just don't work right. And next to this guy is the same deal, just as a magnet. You drop a ball down, you know, you take the seat off, you remove the tank, take the tank bolt, and you just hear plump, 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 like plinko going down. It's like, oh my god, where did it go? Or I can see it, but I can reach it. Then you just go in with this guy, plop, and pick it out. These also come in different sizes, bigger ones, smaller ones. Again, I like the smaller one because it just fits in tighter spaces. This is very cheap and very useful when you need it. So next on the list is stuff that you actually might already have in your garage or at home. Some masking tape and a Sharpie. I use these all the time. You take a panel off and it looks similar to a different panel. You just tear a piece off, right left hand side or right hand side on it. I do it with electrical connectors. If I have to unplug too many electrical connectors and they all have the same color, or there could be confusion, you know, tear a piece off and just do a number, 1, 1 or B, B, whatever, just that you know which connector goes where. If you work on your bike and it's going to sit for a longer period of time, I don't know, maybe you drain the oil or it's low on gas, you don't remember, especially draining the oil, doing a motor job, draining the oil and then forgetting about it, you know, tear a piece off, stick it on tanks, no oil. This makes life very easy for you just to get stuff back together. If you're not completely sure where what goes, just label it, mark it. It's so easy. All right, next on my list is something that I'm very sure you guys have at your home already in your kitchen. Ziploc bags. Here's the deal with these. These are amazing. I restored many bikes in my life and we go by the simple, don't break nothing, don't lose nothing, label everything. And these are great for that. So let's say you have a sport bike and you're going to do some major work to it. You take all the fairings, all the side panels off. Now you have a whole bunch of hardware which you need to keep track of. And that's not easy to do if, let's say, the bike sits for a week or two. You know, you come back, you look at your box of hardware, I'm like, where does all that stuff goes? And this is where these come in. Open it up, put your hardware in, and you put, I don't know, left panel, right panel, seat panel, cold panel, whatever. So they're all marked. Once you're ready to put your bike back together, you just get it, you read it, oh yeah, this is for the left panel, and then you figure out where your hardware goes. As easy as that. These things are obviously super cheap. As I said, you probably already have it in your kitchen, at home somewhere. Get a whole bag, have them in your shop, and whatever you do, it doesn't matter what. I don't know, maybe you work on carburetors and you have dual or triple carburetors. You know, you mark them 1, 2, 3, put all the stuff in there, you know where stuff goes. Very cheap, very effectful, makes life very, very easy if you use these guys. All right, next on my list is a flashlight, but not just any flashlight, but a headlight. Yes, I know, it looks goofy, but it works great. I use it all the time at my shop when I'm at work. If you had ever the lovely experience to hold the flashlight while your dad was doing some work and you're getting bitched at all the time because you're not focusing the light where he's looking at, then you appreciate that. Put on your head, turn it on. Wherever you look, you're gonna have your light, and it keeps both hands free. Instead of having flashlight in one hand and trying to do a job or something with the other hand, and you might need that second hand. This is just so much easier. I got 2 of them at work, and I always keep them in loop charging, so I basically wear one of these almost all day long, and it just helps. It makes your life so much easier. So get you one of these and just make your life a little bit easier when you work on your bike. All right, next on my list are these nice little hose pliers. So what these guys do is, if you have a fuel line or something that you need to cap off, you go to the fuel line, you press it down, and they lock. I use these mostly for Harley Davidson. If you have a Softail or something with the 2 half tanks, they have a connecting hose, and there's no way to shut it off or nothing. On one side I put a plug, on the other side of the hose you go in with this guy, snap it closed, hold it there, and now your fuel line is closed. And you can use it for vacuum hoses or stuff like that. Water hoses, if your motorcycle has a radiator and wants coolant, you can use all these. For example, this is a kit. They come in 3 different sizes, and you just use whatever size works for you. Again, pretty cheap. Most of the stuff you can get on Harbor Freight. I will post a link in the description to every tool, and then you can order on Amazon or whatever. But yeah, hose pliers, pretty useful. You need them. All right, next on my list are screwdrivers, but not just any screwdrivers, very, very long screwdrivers. Now you're gonna say, why the hell would I ever need a screwdriver that long? Well, if you work on motorcycles, depending what type of job you're going to do on it, sometimes there's the hose clamp or something that's just so deep down there that you would need to take half the bike apart to get in there with your regular screwdriver. But this guy is so long, you can go in there and do the job way faster, way easier. I use it a lot on, I'm going to say, 90s to 2000 sport bikes. If I need to remove the carburetor, sometimes it's hard to get to the clamps that hold the boot, the carburetor to the engine, and you just can go in there and loosen them all up. Usually you get them in a pair. I have a Phillips and a flathead. The flathead I don't need that often, but the Phillips gets used a good bit. Again, this is all pretty cheap stuff, and you don't need it often, but boy, when you need it, this is great to have. All right, next on my list is one of these little magnetic trays. Very cheap, very effective. So wherever you work on your bike, wherever you have a little bit of metal frame or something, they have a big magnet on the bottom, so they stick. And once you take your hardware out, you can put it in the tray and it sticks to it. Nothing worse than putting all your stuff in the tray and the tray falls down and hardware rolling all over the floor and you don't remember what is what or how much was in it or did you lose something or not. That's quite a pain in the butt. These things are super cheap. You can get them at any auto parts store, Harbor Freight, online, Amazon, pretty cheap. I would recommend you get you 2 or 3 of these depending how deep you're going to go into your bike, and this is going to make your life way, way easier. All right, and last but not least, I would recommend you to get a Dremel rotary tool. This has so many applications, it's almost disgusting what you can all do with this thing. You can use it as a drill. You can use it with a wire brush to clean up inside the bowl of a carburetor. You can get a little cut-off wheel for it if you do some plastic work and you need to cut something off. Obviously the Dremel, you can get a Dremel bit and make a hole a little bit bigger or clean something out. I got polishing adapters for aluminum. If I try to clean something up really nicely and you can get in one corner, with that you can go in there. This is the cheap one I have at home. I have a little bit better one at the shop, but I use that Dremel, I'm going to say 4 days out of the week, all the time. It's very handy, very cheap. They make life so much easier, and as I said, they have so many applications. It's unreal. So I would definitely recommend you guys get you one of these. Alright guys, and that's basically it for today. These are my 12 must-have tools that I believe you should have in your toolbox if you want to do any type of work on your motorcycle. Obviously you need way more tools than that and different stuff, but this is like some oddball stuff that some people know, some people don't, or they see it and they don't know what it is for. I might do another video in the future where I go to my toolbox and show you what I have at home, not in my shop, just to give you guys an idea maybe what to look for, what not, if you want to start wrenching on your own bike. Well, like always, thank you guys for watching. If you like this content, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button. And if there are any questions, anything I can help you guys, just send me a message, and I'm always glad to help. Alright guys, see you in the next one. Auf Wiedersehen.